Evening, folks. Welcome back to the Leeds View for the match review with the lads, Gerry McNamee and Paul Brooker from the Leeds Therapy here to have a little bit of a chat. Both boys at the game last night, so I'm dying to get their insight into how the atmosphere felt because it sounded phenomenal on my end. But yeah, we'll have a quick chat with the boys around that. A lot of stuff to get stuck into, not just the game, but some news that's come out this morning about Noah Okafor coming into the club as well. So we'll have a big long chat about that, but we'll check in with the boys first and just see how they are. Gerry, how are things?
Not bad. We're going to win the Premier League. Not getting carried away, but I think we might. Yeah, great night. It was a fully deserved win. It was a penalty, and the place
It
was
was.
rocking. And you realise you're back. We're back in the Premier League. It's not so. It's just the coverage because wall to wall today, every channel, Talksport, be it Radio 5, Sky, everybody's got an opinion on the penalty and talking about the game. Whereas last year, it would hardly get a mention. So it's good to be back, but we didn't look out of place, did we? We looked good, and the Elland Road was fantastic last night under the lights. It was everything we'd hoped for, and against the poor Everton team maybe, but you have to beat them, and we're up and running. Another 36 points, maybe 35, 36, and life's fine.
Yeah, 3 points down, 37 to go. That's the countdown clock at this point, or one win down, 10 to go, plus a couple of draws thrown in for good measure as well. Paul, how about you? How are you, mate?
I'm very good, thank you. My voice took a battering last night. Up until what I'd say 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I wasn't even going to the game. Certain set of circumstances happened that have allowed me to go to the game last night. So just fantastic. The atmosphere was great. The thing that you noticed, the big difference between, I mean, apart from everybody booing the Premier League anthem, which was hilarious, by the way, the thing that you notice pitch side is the amount of TV channels that were there. So BN Sports was there. There was a German channel that was there as well. There was a load of others pitch side opposite, sort of right next to the John Charles stand, all doing their sort of the bits to camera and everything, stuff like that, which is completely different from how it was in the Championship. Just, yeah, it was the atmosphere crackling. Overall, very good. I'm tired. I'm very, very tired, but absolutely worth it.
Yeah, it did. It looked great. It looked fantastic last night. Yeah, good. And nice that the anthem was booed because it's a nonsense anthem. It shouldn't even exist. It's an absolute pointless waste of time. But yeah, I had to rearrange all the different Leeds tracks as well because of that as well. So yeah, that can go in the bin along with all the other tin pot stuff. We've got a bit of stuff to get stuck into. We'll start off really quickly. We'll get stuck into this and we'll start off with the pre-game. So before the match, everyone wants to have their little bit of a moment, I suppose. And Leeds chairman Parag Marathe came out and had a little bit of chat with Sky Sports around the preseason, around the plans for Leeds. He was asked about American ownership and all of that, sees himself very much as an individual, but was asked a very direct question by Sky, Gerry, where they said to him, "You've told Leeds fans you will spend every available penny to make this a successful season. You spent 75 million. That was as of yesterday, another 20 million today for Okafor. Can you guarantee the Leeds fans that more players will come in the door?" And his response was, absolutely. Yeah. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was good. And I expected, I think we spoke about it many times. It's a domino effect. We've done good business early on, but you have to wait till something happens. It might be Isaac going to Liverpool or some other transfer within, and then it falls like dominoes. And I think we'll be working right up to the deadline, looking at squads, whether someone like Solomon comes in and other players become available. So I still expect 2, possibly 3 more. I wouldn't be surprised. So it's good news that I think they know. They've seen before what happened when you don't spend, and you've seen other teams like Sunderland. In fairness, they've had to, and to stay up, you can't do this half-heartedly. You have to have the squad. You have to have the physicality. You have to have the guys that will step up within the squad you have, and I think they see that, and it feels positive. We'll sign Noah tomorrow, hopefully, and that's another one in the door. And a couple more. I think a fullback, Justin James. I can never remember which way around. He's got two Christian names, isn't he? It's always a worry. There might be a surprise somewhere else. Maybe a big marquee signing. Who knows? Maybe Isaac's going to come to Leeds. Who knows? Yeah, I'm a bit mad tonight, aren't I? I didn't get much sleep, to be honest.
I think anyone did.
And I was dreaming about Bielsa. Yeah, that's just the perfect night.
I mean, it wasn't. I'm not going to say it was Bielsa-esque. It wasn't, but Leeds opening the game on the front foot was really great to see. So that there's some comparisons or throwbacks to that. Paul, what was your thoughts on Parag Marate's comments before the game?
He's very polished. He speaks very, very well in front of the camera. He's very good at what he does. But he's put it out in the ether now. It now has to come to fruition. It was positive what he said. I liked what he said. What that led me to think was that there are, obviously we know Noah Okafor. That's kind of pretty much there. I think there's probably another 2 to 3 to come in yet, pretty much. I think there's definitely another striker to come in. I think there's another number 10-ish slight role to come in, full-back cover. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was a left-back cover to come in as well. I know we've got Byron, but just maybe just to absolutely solidify the defence. But you can't be anything other than positive for me, in just in terms of what he said. I mean, the whole night was just about positivity and pushing forward and everything. But yeah, I'm pleased with his comments, definitely.
I'm going to go straight back to you on that.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is really interesting. And I don't think you're probably wrong at all on this, but there is another question to back up that one then. Leeds currently have registered 23 players in their squad this year. They can register 2 more players. Mm-hmm. If Leeds are going to bring in a 10 and 2 fullbacks and maybe even, an Okafor included in that as well, and maybe another striker, that's 4 players. Yep. That means at least two have to go to make that work. Where's your head at with that? Because I think the thought process last night was maybe Ramazani will go out on loan. Maybe he leaves permanently. We're not really sure about that. But what do you think there?
I think Ramazani goes on loan. I don't think he gets sold. I think he goes on loan.
I hope not.
And I also think that potentially, now this depends on whether or not Ampadu is seriously injured or not. I don't think he is, but just in case, if he is, I think you can look at Ramazani and Gruev to be the 2 that are probably going to go out the door.
Gruev, I thought he was good last night.
He was, but I think Longstaff would be a little bit above him in that basis, just in terms of from what he's been brought in to do. So I think there's a chance. He did look annoyed last night because at one point he was ready to come on and then he got told to put the bib back on and then he went back down to kind of warm up again. And he looked like he was a bit peeved by that. Yeah. Not to read anything into it to try and make dramas or mountains out of molehills, but I don't think he's as far up the pecking order as what he would like to be. So I think there's potential that could be going. But I definitely think Ramazani is going to be one of the ones that goes. Just for whatever reason, it would appear that Farke doesn't like him. And I don't mean doesn't like him as a person, but just doesn't like him as an option.
Doesn't fancy him as an option.
Yeah.
And I mean, last night the question was asked about why Harrison comes on and not Ramazani. I think in the context of the game at that stage, I think it was probably just the right decision to make because Ramazani's far more aggressive, far more direct, would run at them, will open the game up a bit more. I think Farke at that point was starting to get annoyed with so many players bombing forward and wanted a bit more control over, a bit slower tempo. And I think that's probably why he looked to bring on Jack, just to do that. And to be fair to Jack, again, your personal opinion on Jack is completely your opinion. You're entitled to that. I've made mine known on him. But last night, he's involved in the build-up to that penalty. It's his cross that gets smashed across the goal. Stack shot, takes a deflection, doesn't take a deflection, smacks off of Tarkovsky's arm. Nailed on penalty, by the way. And Leeds go 1-up. So, yeah, it's interesting. But we'll have to wait and see. No, Meslier is not included in that 23 or Pat Bamford, by the way. But that squad's starting to get pretty chunky now. And it's getting, Gerry, good options on that squad last night. It was great to see the bench looking really strong as well. And the players that came off that bench making an impact.
Yeah, it certainly was. Probably Schmidt will be one that will go definitely. I mean, he wasn't even in the squad last night, and I think you're right about Ramazani. And I was disappointed. I wanted him to be good, but we saw last season he wasn't going to. He wasn't in. Farke didn't trust him, I suppose. And you have to look and think 2-3 weeks ago, if you said Jack Harrison, he said, yeah, he'll definitely go. But the fact that he came on last night, and the fact that he's buying drinks for everybody in Leeds and various pubs. You seem to think he's possibly staying. Would he have done something like that if he was gone? I don't think so. So I think he's in the plans. And you're right, when he did come on last night, him, Brendy, and obviously Metcha, they did a job. it wasn't pretty, but they were on that left-hand corner and the right-hand corner. They were causing problems and keeping the ball up there. So you would think that's going to happen. So I wouldn't like to see Gruev go out, but if it comes down to pure numbers, I suppose may have to be. It was funny. Calvin was sitting behind us last night. Calvin Phillips
Was he?
And, when Ampadu went down, I did this to him. Get ready. And I didn't think it was funny. Yeah. And Liam Cooper there as well. Harry Gray. They were all there. But Calvin, he looked in good form. He's a decent lad anytime I've come across him. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. You forget about the numbers and everything else, but yeah, we're getting close to that squad limit. And you would think the players you mentioned, Pat and maybe Sam Greenwood and people like that, Melia, they'll Melia anyway. I don't know what's going to happen to Pat. Will anybody pay his wages? That's being brutal about it. That's probably what it is. And he's got another year of his contract. So we've got 2 weeks left in the transfer window. I think we've got a few. It's going to be a bit more exciting to come, but we're getting close.
Yeah, we are. We're getting tight now, but the squad's starting to look really good for me in terms of depth as well. Paul, just a general thoughts on the performance last night. Did the start that Leeds made in that first half catch you by surprise? Because very much on the front foot, very, very aggressive and high press by Leeds, which I loved to see. That's the kind of stuff I wanted to see from Leeds. We talked about it last week. I wanted to see an identity from Leeds, and I felt we saw that last night. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, no, the start was brilliant. Was very, very good. Nonto in particular, I was impressed with at the start of the game, not only because of his attacking side of things. His decision-making is a bit annoying, but his overall attacking prowess, but also his tracking back as well. He tracked back really well last night. Very, very well. I thought Goodmanson on the overlap was brilliant, but we pressed them really, really high. It was clear what their game plan was. Their game plan was to sit back, soak up the pressure, and hopefully catch us on the break by pinging a long ball over to Beto, and then for Beto to nod it down for somebody to run onto. But they couldn't get out of their half in the first half. Now, where I was sat, we saw from the penalty video that I've put up, I was kind of West Stand, but cop side West Stand, if that makes sense, in terms of where I was positioned. So every time I'm up constantly looking around, standing up to try and see what was going on, and just the overall, the interplay, the movement, everything was very, very good in the first half. I mean, we were putting up silly numbers in the first half. It was like 62% possession to 38% possession. We'd had 12 shots, they'd had none. It was just very, very good. And we can't get away from the fact that the Everton were not very good last night, but you also can't get away from the fact that we made it so it was that way. And just overall, I was just pleased structure-wise. And you can now see, in terms of the way that we've bought players, because we've built from the back, it gives us that structure. It gives us that stability. And you could see how much they were moving and just conducting themselves to be there in and out of the pitch where they needed to be positioned, just to mop stuff up if anything got a little bit too stressful or if anything got a little bit too much. There was always an out ball, which was really, really good to see. Very, very pleased.
Gerry, Everton not good enough, or Leeds didn't let them play? Because we watched David Moyes on the sideline. I don't know what you saw from where you were sitting, but David Moyes was animated from nearly the first minute to the 45th minute. And I think their reaction, what they came out in the second half, was very much a team that had gone into the dressing room and got the hairdryer treatment and had to come out and do something. But in that first half, they just couldn't get out. And when they did go prime Sean Dyche ball and go direct, the boys at the back for Leeds just won the headers, and Ampadu steps in, wins the second ball, cleans it up, and away we go again. Yeah,
it was a case. I think it's a case both. We were good and they weren't great, but we didn't allow them to be great. I mean, I didn't notice Dewsbury Hall till just I thought 22. That's Dewsbury Hall. I forgot he was playing. He was the big signing. Yeah, we totally dominated the amount of corners. I'm not sure what it was in the first half. It must have been close to double figures. I mean, Munez will score those in the next few weeks. A lot of balls going in, and we were unlucky a couple of times. Pickford, a good keeper, he cleared one with a punch. But throughout the team, it's hard to pick a man of the match. So I think everybody had a good game. I like Pirro last night. Somebody said they thought he had a poor game. I thought his link-up play was excellent first half.
Yeah, it was.
And I think, I mean, Bogle back in, a bit rusty, but he's still good. I think Rodon and Pascal were immense at the back. The keeper saved one at the near post, which, dare I say, might have gone in last year. His kicking maybe needs a bit of work. But did you see that throw across the halfway line?
Yeah,
that was one of my favourite parts of the night. Tanaka, worried about stepping up. He actually physically he just bumped into an Everton player, knocked him over, and his confidence was good. And throughout the team, and Gunnarsson, he's just settled in. So throughout the whole team, and Everton, yes, we were expecting. The whole worry was we hadn't scored, and you're worried they're going to have a spell. They had a little spell, but they hadn't really, I think. And then Jack, the former Irish international, came on. I'm over that now, but I still don't bear a grudge for the cheating traitorous. But you thought, here we go, the script's written, isn't it? He's going to score. I knew loads of my mates were poised to press the button, but again, we nullified him and managed the game well. And although you're worried in the last 7 minutes, we never really had a worry. And this is a Premier League team. And we didn't look out of place. I know they're not the best, but we didn't look out of place. And to get a win on the board early just gives all that confidence. We got the 3 points. I know last time we stayed up, we won 2 of the first 3, but it felt a bit different last time. We got options. It's going to be more difficult. Arsenal is a whole other thing. But I think just to get that one on the board last night and see the team perform well. And then, as you say, look at the options on the bench. The Longstaff didn't get much. I was surprised Borna was on the bench because he's not played hardly at all. Hopefully we'll see him. And a few more signings when Dominic Calvert-Lewis was Calvin. I can never remember his name.
Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin, that's it, not Lewis. I'm terrible at names. My age. Yeah, when he gets fit, he'll be fit probably after the September break. So we got an option there. Keep him fit. He's a class player. So. It was a good start, and anybody looking at that team will think these guys are no pushovers. No matter what the pundits say. I heard some pundits yesterday saying Leeds last year were like a basketball team. The score one, the concede one. I thought, have you watched the championship?
That's not true.
We weren't. We scored. We didn't concede.
We did the lowest XG against us in the division last year.
Exactly, and it's just you listen to them, and they're just talking. It's lazy. A lot of pundits lazy, and they're putting us in the bottom 3. And I think, say what you want. Doesn't really matter. Talks on the pitch. So, all good. I mean, who would you say was man of the match last night? I thought
Stacked, Tanaka, Ampadu, Goodmanson is forward there at least.
I'm going for me. I'm going Tanaka. Just he was very, very, very good. But then as the game went on in the second half, he just got better. Just that interception that he made on just out off the halfway line where he slid in to get it and then to play somebody through. Overall was. And then he went down with cramp, didn't he? And he was getting shouted at everybody. And I sent you that picture. The guy in the crowd comes out and just puts his arm around him.
My God! Yeah, I saw that.
Which is just scary. But this is. And again, I know Everton were bad. They weren't good last night at all. But when you look at it, and I know people don't like it because it's statistics and everything, on the physical side of stuff, we were ahead of Everton throughout the entire game. In terms of the shots, ahead of Everton. Passes-wise, ahead of Everton. Expected XG, ahead of Everton. Just every metric that you can measure us on, where it puts us in a positive light, we're there. Which is exactly what we want it to be like. It's just that conversion, right? We just need to sort out just things like Dan James try to do a flick and a spin move that would normally work in the Championship. Probably won't come off as many times in the Premier League. So what he's got to do is that adaptation to bringing that into the Premier League and how he can make it work. And there were signs that was starting to show a little bit more in the second half. But just, I'm like Jack Harrison coming on for me was the substitution was fantastic because it stretched them in terms of the defence. Rather than having Nonto that was cutting in all the time, you had Harrison that was now literally hugging on the wing and creating space. Aronson came on and did a job, bodied one guy, which I wasn't expecting, and had a free kick against him. But when he went over onto the right-hand side when Dan James came off, he was then closing down their left back constantly because that was an out ball for them on a regular basis. So I liked what Farke did in terms of the substitutions as well. I thought that was very, very clever to see in terms of the overall play and how it improved us, because we just needed something to change a little bit. And they all worked. They did. They all worked. Nemecha coming on. We were talking, a couple of the people around us, and I said, I feel like he's had a decent game. Is it just because he scored the penalty? And they all went.
I flattened Tarkowski twice as well, and stood over him once as well, which I was really happy about.
Crashed into him,
yeah. But that was good to see. And you don't actually realise how big Mecha is until he actually comes onto the pitch. He's huge. He's massive. But yeah, I'm positive. We can't not be positive about it, can you?
Well, some people can be negative about it. There's plenty of people being negative about it already. But, again, as I've said all summer, you could hand some Leeds fans a bag of gold and they'll moan about how heavy it is. So, I mean, there's somebody who'll find fault in something. People seem to forget that the badge on the front of the shirt is far more important than the name on the back of the shirt. And we're not Fanboy FC. So there's people who would rather have Rabazani playing last night than Leeds winning a game of football. And they would rather have anybody playing for Leeds and Leeds win. I don't care who the players are as long as Leeds are doing well and winning. But it's the first game back in the Premier League. I was talking to Joe earlier on. He said, I think Leicester were November when they got their first win last year. I think the other two teams were like September, October before they got on the board with a win. And we've got our first win on the first day of the season. I don't think anybody, Gerry, is naive enough to think that this is going to be a straightforward, easy season. We've got a reality check next weekend against Arsenal. Then you've got Newcastle. Yeah. Then we've international break coming up after that. And then we'll probably see what Leeds will actually look like after that international break with Calvert-Lewin with a few weeks under his belt. If Okafor gets through his medical and he comes in, great. And then whoever these final 2 or 3 people are going to be, then we'll know we've got to go for the season. But I don't think we're being naive and saying this is going to be easy. I think we know what's ahead of us.
We know there's mini leagues within this, and there's probably 6-7 teams around us, Everton being one, that are must-win games. And then you've got Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea. If you get anything from those, it's a bonus. And then the other one's somewhere in between. You expect to pick up a few points. So, I mean, that's what the whole story is. But when you look through the squad, it's interesting. I was thinking last night, we don't have subs now. We have finishers like they do in rugby. When Nemecha came on, he did a job. I love the way, as you say, he crashed into Tarkowski. And the referee let it go, and he let a few things go last night. I thought the ref was all right last night, actually. I thought we forget the penalty. I thought it was good refereeing. But no, we're not stupid enough to think it's going to be easy. And we could easily lose on Saturday and the mood changes again. But it'd be worse if we'd not won last night. So I said 4 points from these 3 games would be a great start, and I stand by that. And Newcastle have their struggles as well, and Arsenal,
didn't look great against Man United.
No, they've still players to settle in, and they've got Arteta on the side, which always causes problems. His hair looks great though, still in the same place. But no, we'll wait and see. Johnny Cooper had a just meltdown last night of statistics. Some great stuff. Yeah, I love that one where he said, I think Nemecha is the first debut and score a penalty since 1922. Percy Whip, who we all remember. Just don't Google Percy Whip. You don't know what will come up. And I love the way Farke said, Nemecha, he paid back every pound we've not paid for him.
Yeah,
that was very good.
Yeah, very clever.
And I think, the last debutant sub to score was Dexter Blackstock in 2013. Wow. So
that against Huddersfield, that wasn't it?
I think it was, and I think he got injured. He never played much after that again. I think Stack's figures was 4 shots, 4 chances created, was one of the best for a debutant. All over the pitch.
Not bad for a central defensive midfielder, is it?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's not bad. And the first champions to win. And so, did we mention that? First champions to win. Yeah. Championship champions to win their first game in 17 years. So all in all, you love a Johnny Cooper. He comes out with some crackers.
I love Johnny. I love the stuff he puts out. His book is fantastic as well. But it's Paul, there's going to be these little milestones along the season where we're going to need to break these ducks or break these hoodoos from previous seasons that clubs have had. We also have the the one that we'll wait till the end of the season to see if we get around, and that's the 6 teams that went up, all went back down the last 2 years. Can we break that one? But it's a very positive start. As has been said in that chat tonight, Jimmy Carragher, the only one that reckons that Leeds United will stay in the division. Gary Neville not overly happy with Leeds United fans, and I think he got caught on a hot mic. Yeah,
yes,
saying not fans he wants to be around. But then he did mention Elland Road with Ibrox, Celtic Park, and as Anfield as grounds he doesn't want to go to. And that says an awful lot. And that atmosphere last night does an awful lot. I think Farke, even in the press conference afterwards, Paul talked about Anton Stack and now Tanaka. There was a conversation that Farke had with Tanaka after the game where you can see him pointing at his head towards Tanaka. And he clarified after the game where he was saying with 10 minutes to go, both his number 8s were bombing forward. And he was like, that's not what I want us to see. Like, we don't want to concede a goal then on the back of that. So I was just telling him about, don't let the fact that the atmosphere of the ground is on fire dictate what you do. You've got to be calm. We've got to make smart decisions as well. But it definitely does carry Leeds across the line in certain games, especially like that one last night.
Yeah, it's the marching on together at the start of the game was lovely to see. Then the South stand singing "You Sold Your Soul" to the Everton fans, and just all of the songs, the whole repertoire coming out. But it was electric last night, and you could see some of the players were kind of, especially the new ones, were very much like, "Oh, this is a bit different. I'm not quite used to this." And I mean, you got Lucas Perry coming out and saying what he said. You know, that this is, you know, for strange to see that many people there shouting all the time, and just, I mean, Stack, I love anyways because he posts ridiculous photos onto Instagram.
They're great.
They're so good. There was the Rocket League one, the one that I sent you, which was the Madagascar
fencing one as well.
Yeah, just he's so funny. He just gets it, which is really good. He just gets it. It's just fantastic, and they just that kind of positivity that we've got. This is what we need to do, particularly at the start of this season. Is we need to ride that wave of positivity, and the fans particularly need to keep riding that wave of positivity. None of us are naive enough to think that it's going to be all plain sailing. It's not. It's going to be difficult. But at the times when it's difficult, that's when us as fans who are there at the game have to then shine through a little bit to help pull the lads through at the same time as well. You want 100 to 110%. Give the team 110% at the same time, and it'll be fine. It's like not Grealish, sorry, Harrison getting booed when his name was announced, getting booed when he kind of came on, but there was more clapping as the game went on, and people were cheering him on when he got the ball and he was running the channels and stuff last night. So, you know, don't get me wrong, the money behind the bar in Leeds and the money behind the bar at the Peacock, it does. And one of the things that I did want to say, Jess, sorry, I take up a bit of time, but
all right,
people were complaining because he didn't do the lap last night at the end, and that he was in the dugout with an Everton player, and they also booed him because he was saying hello to the Everton players while he was out warming up pitch side as well, just sort of halfway through the first half. And I'm just like, that's dangerous territory, mate. But it's like people didn't see him then, you know, go over to the family stand and give his top, and then by himself clap as he was running off.
He did his own little lap.
Yeah, but I also think that he potentially thinks, and this is just me putting this out there, Nathan, and this isn't me going that Harrison is an absolute saint. I'm not saying that at all, and that he hasn't done a couple of silly things. But maybe he doesn't think that he has yet earned the right to go with the whole squad and walk around and get the adulation from everybody as part of the squad, because he's not quite made it up yet. So maybe he feels like he shouldn't be doing that yet.
Well, against AC Milan and Dublin, when the group were in a huddle in the middle of the pitch after full time, he came out of that group on his own and did a lap of honour on his own, applauded the fans, and at that point there was no booing. Now again, I will stick to this. Fans have the right to express themselves whatever way they want, as long as it's not violence, they can do what they want. And Jack has to earn that trust back, and Jack has to do an awful lot of work to build these bridges again. I think he's started doing things the right way, but it's going to take a while. It will take some big performances. It will take goals and assists. It will take him working for that shirt. One thing Jack Harrison's never really been shy of is hard work. It's just quality at times has always been the question mark in certain areas, his end product. But I did see that where he gave the short away and then he did his own little kind of semi-middle lap where he plotted all 4 stands. And I think there's maybe a case of him doing it himself. I think he can go an awful long way, Paul, to putting this to bed by sitting down and doing an LUTV interview and just getting it done, getting it off his chest, explaining himself, and then just let it, and then go out on the pitch and do what you do. Or as I said, when Willie Nanto threw his ties at a pram 2 years ago, score a goal, don't celebrate, go up to the cop and just go, yeah, my bad. All right, I get it. But he hasn't shirked this. The fact that he's applauding the stands who are booing him continuously throughout a game shows that he's got the shoulders that he can carry this, and he's doing whatever he can. Remains to be seen if he ever gets over that hump, but at least he's trying to do something. But I will leave everyone to their individual opinion on that to decide what they think of it. But he came on last night. People are saying he didn't do much or he's not good enough to be in the team. It's his cross that goes to Anton Stack that gets the penalty. So he's involved in the goal in some way. So just contribution there. And that's the most important thing for me, is contribute to the game. Gerry, what were your thoughts on this entire situation and him where he is right now?
Yeah, I think you're right in saying he's got a few bridges, but I suppose you got to. I do remember, just there's a picture here beside me that I've got one of these rolling video things, and it's showing his goal at Brentford. I won't forget that. And Leeds were selling them in the January, and then they give him a new contract with Premier League clauses. And I suppose you see that. I know his mum has said stuff. I've never seen that, but I've heard. But yeah, I think you're right. He probably just needs to do an interview and get out there. But I think I noticed he got the number 20 shirt last night where he was wearing 38 or something in Dublin. So I think that, as I said before, I think that means he's staying. And you just got to put a few performances in, just keep his head down, come on a couple of times. If he contributes like he did last night and more, he's probably an asset to the squad. He's not had a few good seasons. I don't think the Everton fans necessarily want him back. I don't think his stats were pretty poor last year. He did assists and goals, I think, was 0.
0 and
wasn't
1.
much better the year before. So he's got a bit of work to do. I never thought he'd be integrated, but as I said before, the signs are there we will. So we just get behind him. He's one of our players. Okay, we booed. He knows the crack. He knows he's got to earn it. Brendan knew that as well last year, and he just got his head down and got stuck in. And you're wearing the badge, and you do your best for the club. And football is very transient, as we know. Players come and go, and you just hope that they do the right thing. And maybe he has made a couple of mistakes, but we give him the contract, and we tried to sell him in a bad business and everything else. So. Yeah. When he gets his first goal, and we remember him under Bielsa that time. I often wonder, is he one of these players that excelled under Bielsa, but that was the peak. But if we can get something out of him this season as an impact player, and also I said finishers rather than subs, coming on and doing a job like that last night, it's not bad. So get behind him. We booed. We know he knows.
Yeah, he can take it. He can take it. He's a big boy, and again, he's seen it before. Willie. Brendan Aronson. It's happened before. Marcus Ferber last year as well. It's happened before. They know what they expect. So it doesn't seem to be getting to him. So let's just let him redeem himself. Let him do the work. And that's what I want to see. I don't want to see him buying points for people. I want to see him redeeming himself by doing the work, doing things the right way. And we'll see how he gets on. Let's move on. We'll talk about the new players that came in last night. Lucas Perry in goal. A couple of shaky enough moments with his feet, but he made a really good save low down at his front post. And he caught lots of balls that came into the penalty area. And Jesus, when he puts his foot through a ball and decides to go along with it, that kick is frightening as well as his throw in. He comes into the team. Gabby Goodmunson has an absolutely brilliant debut for me. I thought he looked absolutely established in that side, comfortable in the team. Within the midfield, Anton Stack, really, really good as well. Longstaff comes on for a couple of minutes, and then we get Lucas Mecha making a really big impact off the bench as well. And for me, potentially in a conversation to start against Arsenal if Leeds need a bit more of a foil. But Paul, thoughts on the new boys that came in? I don't think I've missed anyone in that. Maybe I have.
I don't think you have. No.
What are your thoughts on them?
No, you haven't.
You can't be anything other than pleased. From a statistical point of view, Goodmanson was man of the match last night. He got 8.1 on FootMob as his overall rating. Stack got an 8. Perry got a 7.9. My man of the match, which is to me just seems ridiculous. Tanaka got a 6.9, which just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's all
algorithm based, though. Those ones, though, that's the problem with it, isn't it?
AI based. When it's on your eye, it's something that's completely different. But I thought Goodmanson's ability to get up and down the pitch and just to seem to not run out of energy. For the size of him as well, because he's a tall fella for a left back, was very, very, very impressive. He did the basics right, which is what you want. And then he makes somebody in the second half, which was really funny. And the guy pulled him down, which was funny to see. His link-up play between him, Nonto, and Stack was very, very good as well. In terms of that little triangular link-up to move the ball and progress it up the pitch was good to see. Like I say, his overlapping was good. It just is, just really pleased for him. Perry, please don't kick the ball out. Just don't from off the floor. He did it 3 times in a row, and it went to their player. Yeah, he picks it up and overarm throws it and it goes straight to, I think it was Nonto's feet, pretty much. It was just, and his kicks are ridiculous. His long kicks are absolutely ridiculous. But just to have somebody commanding and grabbing the ball and stretching up and reaching up to grab the ball, it just breeds confidence into the rest of the defence. Visibly, you can see that they trust what he's doing and they like what he's doing. And, Nemecha that came on, fab. Just like I said, I think it was from a game-changing point of view was really, really good. Just all of the new guys seem to have settled in really, really quickly. Particularly if you look at their interactions online as well, in terms of when players post something a bit, there just seems to be just a really nice camaraderie between them all, which is really good to see.
Joe, your thoughts on them?
Yeah, it was novel to see crosses coming in and you're confident they're going to be caught. And a left back, when you look, he's still in the left side. He's not playing striker. He's not playing right
Bogle was doing that
right
instead.
wing. Yes. So for years we've been crying out for a left back, haven't we? And I think we got one. And every game we've seen him in so far, he's just settled in straight away. Yeah. Stack is definitely going to be the star of the team this year. I think he's been outstanding. So Paul says all settled in really well. And Nemecha to come on and get a goal as well. He just looks like he's enjoying it. And just that physical presence. Somebody said there, would he start on Saturday? Maybe Pero comes on later. That's it. And of course, we forgot about our new tactic of the Ampadu long throw in. That's somebody's mentioned that there as well.
I have it written down, and I was gonna hold back till the end, but you mentioned it because.
Oh, sorry.
No, good. It's great to talk about it because when he picked that ball up, my initial thought, we were doing a watch along, and I kind of said, "This is interesting. I don't think I've seen Ampadu take a throw in," and then he mullered it to the back post. And I was like, where the hell has that been for 2 years? Why are we only seeing this now? But obviously, we brought in big players. But that's our huge asset to have now.
Well, I'm having that, is it? The last long throw specialist we had was Rafinha, or Jesse Marsh thought he was. Yeah, it was brilliant. That's something we've seen a lot in the championship last year. But yeah, you got to use everything. That was obviously something they're working on. I'm not sure if his set piece back heel from the free kick was sent from the training ground, but that was good. But yeah, you see they're working more on separate. The corners were a bit better last night as well. I think we were getting beyond first man and everything, but it's interesting to see that these new tactics that we brought in, and we're solid and physical and everything else. But yeah, I want to see a flick on header and goal from a long throw in. All that and frame that. Anybody remember the last time we scored from a throw in flick on? I don't know if we ever have.
Has to be Rafinha Longshon. I'm joking.
Yeah, it probably is. Probably Nick Jones or somebody. Yeah, but no, it was a good one to have. But overall, everybody had a good day, good first day at school, and I'm really pleased. Yeah,
it really was. It was great to see it. Let's just move on and talk about potential new signings coming in the door. So, according to everybody in Barron Cross and the Athletic, is the first local journalist to pick this up today and kind of put some information on it. No, Okafor to Leeds United looks like it's done and dusted in terms of the paperwork. He's got a medical that's scheduled for tomorrow, so he's due to fly into Leeds. It's 21 million euros, so about 18-ish million pounds plus add-ons. It's a contract till 2029 with an option for an additional year to 2030. No conversations around release clauses, which I was told apparently they did want one in there in case Leeds got relegated, but Leeds have been clear on their stance on release clauses for relegation, so probably gone away. Paul, your thoughts on Okafor? And before, because it will come up again in the chat, just to make it clear, no, Okafor was available and played over 20 games last season. The season before, he played close to 35 games, and the season before that, he was close to 40. He hasn't always been a first choice at Milan. He is playing behind Christian Pulisic and Rafael Leao. And if that's their backup player behind those two, I don't think you're getting a bad player. But what are your thoughts on Noah Okafor potentially coming in now?
Love it. Since you and I talked about it a couple of weeks ago now, it feels like.
Yeah.
I really, 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 really like this as a signing. It's that little bit of potential stardust that we've kind of been looking for, and not to big him up massively or anything, but he had Schmidt on toast, which I know in pre-season isn't a huge thing because Schmidt was on toast for whoever we were playing against in pre-season. But he looked very, very good. Very, very good. I think he's full of running, good crosser of the ball. Just overall, I'm really pleased. I really want to see what he can bring. And like you said, I know everybody went, oh, he's injured all the time. It's the first thing everybody said, oh, he's injured all the time. It's not. He's had missed a game here, a game there. It's not been for 10 weeks, or it's not been for 14 matches in a row or something like that. It's just been little niggles and stuff that have kept him out. This could be quite an astute signing overall. And it's funny when you think about it, because the price that we've so far put forward in terms of what we've paid, there's a real kind of familiarity with everybody, but like Stack, for example, in terms of the amount that we pay for Stack. There seems to be this almost similar fee that we seem to be going for, this 18 to 20 million kind of player that we seem to be going for, which is, I'm pleased. And it just, what it does is it elevates for me the transfer window as a whole. At the moment, we were probably sat at about a 7 out of 10. This just elevates it another level. And then if we get a big name striker in, it then goes up again. And we've had not a near perfect, because nothing's ever perfect, but as good as what you would want to have from a strategy point of view, but also spending money point of view. So I'm excited. Fingers crossed everything goes fine with his medical, and we see him in the Leeds very, very soon.
Yeah, Gerry, your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I'm just looking at people talking about long throw-ins, Vinnie Jones and Weston McKennie. Weston McKennie didn't do anything else.
We don't talk about him.
No, I did boo him. I've said that before. I'm not liable.
Everyone did it.
Yeah.
The wrong right as well.
Yeah, no, as a signing, I just looked up some stats on him today, and he scored 25 goals in about 70 games for Red Bull, and AC Milan 7 and 39. I think he went to Napoli on loan last year.
He did, yeah. He played 4 games.
I think he played 4 games, but I think that they really had a settled squad, so he didn't really get a look in. But yeah, he's someone I think it will give us that bit extra. And you're right, Paul, about transfer fees, because look, Forest, I know Forest are a bit mad, but they're spending, is it 30-40 million on Omar Hutchinson?
Yeah,
it's a bit much player.
37.5.
Great, was it?
Yeah.
And a great player, in the Championship. But that money, and just because you're not spending 30-40 million doesn't mean you're not getting good players. I mean, you say a Stack, he's a snip at 17 million, whatever we paid for him.
We spent loads of money on John Kevin Augustin. Will we class him as a marquee signing now?
We did. Well, we did get 60 minutes out of him. So come on, it just shows you. I mean, Man United and Spurs spent £1 billion between them last year. Look where they ended up. So it's about being astute, and we still don't know. Players turn up, but it looks we've been steady on these transfers, and I think this one could be exciting. I did notice some in Dublin. I can't say I watched them closely. I would have if I'd known he was coming. But reading about him and everything else, he is an upgrade, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. He'll probably play after the international break or the Newcastle game, I'd imagine. Hopefully he gets through medical tomorrow. Yeah. But I'm looking at Sky up here, and it's on the banner all day that we've agreed the fee and everything else, and the right people are saying that the deal's done. So it's exciting. Number 9 coming in. Have we ever done 9 transfers other than the year that we had no players? I don't think so.
I think maybe Cellino's first year as well. We just brought in all the lads from Italy, maybe as well. That was crazy as well. There is another player, Paul, I want to ask about, because it has been mentioned in chat. It looks now like Atalanta have decided they're not hanging around for Rodrigo Muniz. The 40 million euro bid was rejected, and they've now gone for another player Leeds have been mentioned with, although Leeds have insisted and the local journalists have insisted all summer Leeds are not in for this player was journalist talk in Italy, and that is Nikola Krstovic.
Mm-hmm.
So they've gone for Krstovic, which means Nunez isn't going. Now, double-ended question here. First part of it being Rodrigo Muniz to Leeds. Thoughts? Second part of it being Rodrigo Muniz to Leeds for €50 million, which is about 47-ish million pounds. It's a huge amount of money, but if they want him, that's the fee. But it now appears that everyone is out of the way, and that big chunk of money for your marquee signing is right there if they want to go and do that. But what are your thoughts on those two questions?
Yes, I take him. Big, physical, strong lad. His goals to minute ratio when he was on the pitch is very, very good. Would I pay €50 million for him? No. He's not. He isn't. I could understand it if he was a starter and he was banging in goals left, right, and centre. Like we're talking, I don't know, for argument's sake, like Ivan Toney levels or Haaland levels, for want of a better phrase, or anybody that gets into the top five, Salah level, stuff like that, then I could understand it. But with everybody being out of the way, it's whether or not Fulham want him gone and Fulham want him off the books. Fulham haven't. But you see, this is the other thing. They're trying to get other players in and they can't because they can't afford to buy players at the moment. So they're going to have to sacrifice.
They have an option to extend his contract as well, though, sitting there waiting to be activated.
Which they haven't done that yet, though, have they? I
don't think so, no.
See, this is the other thing. You don't want to sell him, but you're not going to extend his contract, which it just kind of...
feels like they're hedging their bets a little.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're thinking that he might stay or something to that effect. But I don't know. The players that we've bought this season, for me, have some of them very much have something to prove. Muniz is in that kind of situation as well.
Yeah, he's
shown that he's very, very capable. And he's kind of got something to prove. I don't know. Maybe go in with just maybe sub £40 million bid and just see what kind of response they get. Just see what kind of response, even if it just opens up talks, because then you're going to get maybe something in the background. Who knows? And we're looking at the Greek fella as well. I'm not saying his name. Ioannidis. There you go, Ioannidis.
And he's a good player. He scored an absolute banger against Ireland, actually, as well. He's a decent striker. And then you've got Demirovic as well being mentioned.
Yeah, Demirovic, I see mentioned in the thing. So I think it's going to be one of Muniz, Demirovic, or Ioannidis. I think out of those three. I said to you that I still have an inkling that Muniz is going to get done. Somehow, some way, I think it's going to get done. I don't know how, whether it's we offer... I don't know, X amount of millions of pounds and a player goes with that as well. So this could, I don't know, like Ramazani goes that way or something. I don't know. But there's just something in me that thinks that it might still happen.
Yeah, Trey, what do you think of the situation with the two of them?
Yeah, well, a friend of a friend told me, or a rumour that he had agreed terms with Leeds, but Fulham didn't want him to go to a rival. But and then he scores a goal on Saturday, which puts him in the shop.
And hold the Fulham flag up to the fans. You're like, dude, what are you doing?
I know. Well, I suppose kiss the badge then, but you think he scored a lot of good. Well, he scored it was 8 goals last year, and coming on a sub a lot of time. Is he worth 40 million? Probably in Premier League tax he is, and those other players. Yeah. One player who was mentioned who I'd love to see just as is Mitrovic. Get him for half the price because he'll guarantee a few goals. But Muniz, can we afford to spend 40 million? I don't know. I don't know within our parameters for financial fair play, but you would take him. He's someone, you look at last night, as I said before, and some of those balls bouncing around the box. That's the sort of guy you want in there. So watch this space. And you say Fulham, they've not been able to spend anything at all, as you say, Paul. And they might need to do this so they can do some late business, and that could be us. But it's a gamble at that price. But if you're getting, he's proved himself to a point in the Premier League. So Yeah, we want him, of course. Yeah, we'll take him. It would be the marquee signing, but a gamble. But at least we'd probably see more from, as you said, than old Kev. Yeah, I'd like to sign someone called Smith or Jones who I can pronounce. That would be good. Is there anybody out there?
The guy that was playing in midfield for Everton last night, Aaron Ogbor, I just, no matter how hard I tried to pronounce it, I couldn't pronounce his name properly. I was like, I'm sorry, mate.
I was looking at Alcatraz, and I was thinking, Tanaka's got to get away from it and escape from Alcatraz. And I just had to get it. I was trying to form it in my head all night, and I probably should have left it alone, shouldn't I? Really?
That was good.
But yeah,
very quiet though.
How bad was Alcaraz last night, by the way?
And I like him. I actually like him as a footballer, but he was kept very quiet. Yeah, and Ndiaye was probably the only one that they had that looked like he was really trying to do something. And then the big lad Barry, when he came on, was a problem when he came on. But luckily he didn't come on for too long. But yeah. Anyway, that's what 51 minutes has flown by. I've enjoyed this chat tonight, lads. Thanks very much, and thanks to everyone who's watching is in the chat tonight. Paul, what's going on your channel this week?
There is the review up from last night's game. I will be doing probably a little piece on Okafor as soon as more information comes out about that and contract, and once it's signed, sealed, and delivered. There will be a preview. The preview show's back now, so there'll be another preview of the Arsenal game. So all of your nice sort of statistics and information pre-game for that, come to my channel for that information. And that's pretty much it now. It'll just be consistent content on once and going.
Gerry, there's a man called Ricky here asking about the Dub and the Leeds jersey. Has he got a podcast? I'm assuming he's talking about you, who's from Dundalk or Dundalk.
Dub.
You don't have a podcast, but there is places that people can follow you if they want to hear your daily.
Yeah, well, we do one called Talking Leeds after match reaction, and I'm all over Twitter and various places, and I'll be I booked me parking space, and I'm down at I'll say Highbury. I'm down at the Emirates on Saturday, and I will say hello to Declan for everybody, and looking forward to it. But I'm not a Dub. I'm South Armagh. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm not a Dub either. I sound like a Dub. I've got a Dublin accent, but I'm from Cork, so there you go. There. Just everyone has an accent. Folks, massive thanks as always for supporting this channel, for watching the content, and for joining us here tonight. There is a redirect in place for Joe Wayman's show. He's got one starting at 8 o'clock. I think with an Arsenal fan as well. If you want to check that out, you can be just sent straight over to that if you want to hang around. Outside of that, I'll be back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. We will have a match preview out. It will be pre-recorded this week because I'm actually away for the weekend, so I'm trying to get some bits organized before I go away. So the content will all still be there, but just the environment might look a little bit different. But you can check that out over the next couple of days. Enjoy yourselves, enjoy your evening. I'll talk to you soon. See you.